yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Silver Sunday, hosted by Barbara Kahlberg.
Good Lord.
That was probably the best I've ever been announced for anything in my entire life.
I still expect you to do Sunday.
Sunday,
Yeah.
I know, I grew up on that. As he said, my name is Barb Kahlberg. I am the fill-in hostess tonight. Roland and Curtis both have other obligations. Happy Easter, everybody. And tonight we're just going to do the random generator because I couldn't think of anything else. And excuse me if I have to go mute and blow my nose every so often, but I've recently been reunited with my grandchildren after almost a year, and I love them dearly, but oh my God, are they snot factories. And so they've little germ factories. So I apologize for that in advance. Can we go around and introduce ourselves here? We're going to start with Tim.
I am Tim TK. I'm the associate editor at Silverline and writer and creator of Wolf Hunter. I also normally produce our Wednesday night show.
And Peter.
Hi, I'm just a penciler for Silverline Team Up, Champion of Miss Fury, and I'm currently drawing the end of the Trumps arc, Trumps number 4.
So you're adding to your portfolio there.
Yeah, just more and more to do.
Yes, so only a penciler, but he's doing
only
projects.
A penciler, but I'm penciling a lot at the moment, yes.
Yes. All right, John, how about you?
All right, I am John Martin, and I am the inker for Friar Rush and for Tim's book, Wolf Hunter. And I draw things. I try to make them look decent.
It looks really good.
And Aaron.
I am the penciler on Friar Rush, and then I am also, which we just kickstarted, so I think those will be coming out soon, the second issue. And I am also the penciler on an upcoming Silverline comic, which has yet to be announced. So working on that. And then I am finishing up my own Goblins book, which I just got issue 9 and 10 printed. So I actually have my stack of comics is growing thicker at home, which is exciting. 2 more issues to go, and then that's in the bag. Yeah, I think that's it. I draw and write my own stuff. Gotta do it all. one man show. And color and ink and do all the stuff.
And as I mentioned when we came in, I'm Barb Kahlberg. I am one of the co-founding members of Silverline, CFO, and I am the inker on Cat and Mouse, the colorist on Sirens, and the creator, co-writer, inker, and colorist on the award-winning Divinity, which will be kickstarting in May along with Steam Patriots. So we're really excited about that. We're going to have some fantastic artwork that's going to be for sale during that. As we said earlier, tonight we're just going to do random generator questions, and the guys, if possible, to tie into comics, when the question is answered, they'll try to tie it into comics if they can. If not, it's just a fun question.
It's just a
thing. Yep, I'm going to start it out, and you guys just jump in. And
right.
This is going to be dangerous.
It is. It will.
Yeah, I know.
I love these. All right. If you could go back in time as an observer, no one could see you, and you couldn't interact with anything, when would you want to go back to, and who would you watch?
Christ, that was a heavy brewery.
Yeah. Probably the Old West, which is not too far back. But the Old West, I think, would be fascinating.
Oh, this
is like an episode of, it could be an episode of Doctor Who. You can go anywhere. So
yeah.
I always like medieval history, but I wouldn't want to stay too long. You'd end up dead.
Yeah.
Which, no, I don't know. Yeah, medieval history I like. Roman history is cool. All that ancient history stuff.
Yeah.
You could disprove a lot of stuff.
Well, that's just it. I would want to.
Prove a lot of stuff.
I would want to pick one of the greatest mysteries of all time and go back and find out the truth. Or, I mean, in keeping with the holiday, I would want to go back to the crucifixion and see if it's exactly the way it's written in the Bible.
You know, strange enough, I think the one place I'd like to go the most would be the Age of the Dinosaurs, just because I've never seen a dinosaur. I've seen humans. Humans are boring. No.
You know what's Jurassic Park?
Yeah, well, shades of Jurassic Park.
Yeah. The funny, well, yeah.
Go faster.
It's the whole zoo of them. Whole island of dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah. But she said you couldn't be seen. Do you guys catch that?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That was the idea. You could observe and not be seen. But they could still smell you. They could smell fear, right?
Yes, yeah.
So.
How about you, John?
It's a really tough question because there's a lot of places I'd want to go and whatnot.
Tim?
Yeah, that's true.
I'd probably go and watch was it later? I think it was later Roman Empire. Watch Scipio Africanus. Yeah, but Scipio Africanus is the guy who beat Hannibal, the elf guy.
He smashed. The Carthaginians.
Yeah, either watch that battle or just see what happened to him when he went to exile, because there's not a lot told, but apparently he just started philosophizing as an old man. I think that'd be interesting to watch. One of the greatest generals just living life as a wine farmer.
I think I'd still like to solve a great mystery. What
it
actually
would be
happened?
Cool to actually see them build the pyramids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. That would be cool. All right, next one. If you wanted to give a tourist the local flavor of where you live, what would you have them do?
Go to a barbecue place.
You got to tell people where you live. Well,
I live in Memphis. It's barbecue and blues.
Yep. So you walk in and John just soaks you in barbecue sauce.
There you go. Well, I live in Madison, Wisconsin, so cheese, beer. Yeah. Cheese and beer.
I'm also from a very beer area, so probably going to one of the manifold local tap houses or breweries in Oregon, as well as some of our local kombucha breweries.
Yeah, I was trying to think of like where, because I mean you're not far from me. I was thinking of something outside, something with trees or whatever. I guess like go get lost in the forest. But yeah, there's lots of breweries up here.
I mean that's the last time we had people from out of state come. We went to the Rogue, and then we went to Rogue Brewery, and apparently that just sold them in Oregon.
Yeah,
the Rogue River and then Rogue Brewery.
Yeah, hang out at the Columbian. I'm right next to the Columbian. It's a big river, wide. It's like I think it's supposed to be the widest river in the United States.
Yeah, I've always wanted to see it. How about you, Peter?
Well, I'm from London, so
they don't got anything in London, dude.
I just send them to London.
What the hell do you guys do over there? Seriously,
they got an old lady that's hiding right now.
You don't need me for nothing. I just said, just go into London, knock yourselves out, have a good time. You don't need me.
Yeah.
Go enjoy
What's
yourself.
the one place that you would suggest above all others? Or is that an impossible question?
Do not say the Palace.
Tower of London, maybe. That's pretty old. Live in the middle of London.
Ravens, doesn't it?
Yes, yeah, loads, yeah. And the beef eaters. Not literal beef eaters. But I'm sure they do.
They're cannibals? Oh my god!
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, yeah, start there. We can.
The alcohol's probably better overseas.
Alcohol in the pubs?
Yeah.
It tastes like a dark brew over there, don't you?
You guys like your light beers, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
they like
weird.
their blood nice and thick.
My aunt is recently from Ireland, so I'm on that traditional imported Guinness kick.
The
I've
London's
been to
got their,
the Guinness factory in Ireland.
Yeah.
yes,
but,
London has that, or England has that weird stuff like blood pudding.
Yeah, I don't know who eats that. Some very
I thought you ate that.
No.
You're England. Don't you guys eat all that stuff?
We're all just making it daily, obviously.
Yes.
But just gets too much after a while, you know.
Yeah, just like
so
up here.
much blood. It's just
Yeah,
everywhere.
it's just so much. So much.
Just
Stains the surfaces.
everything is either blood pudding or a jammy dodger.
Yes, Dr. James Dodger.
Just like up here, everybody's supposed to have a fish boil every Friday night because that's what you do around here. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, thank you. That's horrible.
Yeah. Oregon, everyone does kombucha or jujitsu, sometimes both.
I think it's
Right.
always kind of like, I guess, salmon. Everyone's eating fish all the time.
Mm.
I'm not a huge seafood person. I like some, but not that
Well,
much.
that's like what Seattle got famous for was the or you're down in the Couve, but Seattle, Washington's
Yeah.
got big for the fish market.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the funny thing is, you can be a tourist, walk up to somebody who lives in Memphis, and be like, "All right, where do I go to get barbecue?" First thing out of their mouth is going to go, "Don't go to Rendezvous. It's a tourist trap. You're not going to get real Memphis barbecue at Rendezvous."
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of Rendezvous, so that's supposed to be the place.
For some odd reason, it is.
Yeah.
Because it's on Bill Street. It's not real Memphis barbecue.
I guess also like where would be like the locals only place to refer people to avoid like the touristy things. Like Road Brewery is kind of the touristy place, so if someone really wanted like the Oregon beer scene, I'd actually send them to like Craftworks or something like that.
Yeah.
Just a little lesser known, like in the wall tap house.
I heard of that. Yeah, you have I know, what was it? We have a lot of adult clubs in Portland. So I guess like a fishing one. It's strange. I've read that somewhere.
Lord
Like
have mercy.
yeah,
there is a small district called Vaseline Alley.
yeah.
Oh my God, I love that name. That is
Oh,
awesome.
wow.
That's Celine Alley.
That's,
All right,
That
boys,
sounds-
get ready. We're going to a slip and slide.
Oh man.
You want to slip and slide. Nobody wants to go to Graceland. I mean, that's the first thing I think about when I think about
Tourists think about Graceland. Memphis.
Well, I know,
that's
that's what-
Graceland. Well, look, we understand Graceland is in the middle, smack dab in the middle of the hood.
Here's your flak jacket, your extra ammo. Go
Right?
see
It's
Elvis.
like-
Good luck.
Yeah, you want to see Elvis? Okay, put on a vest. Lock your doors. Keep your windows rolled up. Somebody comes knock on the window, just hit the gas.
Now, Tim, I went to Seattle several years ago when my daughter was living there, and I loved it.
Everybody
very
loves Seattle the
artsy.
first time.
Yeah.
Let's just say you like the cities when you
the
visit.
first time.
Like Portland. Like I live in the Couve.
Yeah.
That's what Tim says. People like, how do you like Portland? I'm like, I don't give much thought to Portland. I'm like, why? And I'm like, because it's always been there.
Yeah.
The Coupe sounds freaking
And I've
awful.
seen where Portland, where it's gone from. It's gone. And when I lived here, Portland was not the city it is today. So people are like, Portland's so great. You had this all the time. Not this city. I had another type of city, but not this city.
The
Portland's supposed to be yuppie heaven and very artsy.
Oh,
you know.
When I was young, I mean, you go into Portland, there's certain areas you get shot.
like the arts community moved into Portland in the late '90s. That's kind of when we got our thriving market.
Yeah.
Portlandia.
Portlandia. Yeah.
I watched 10 minutes of that, and I was like, yep, those are the same dorks I put up with every day.
See, I like watching Portland because it is too relatable, but also I live. We're in that weird part where I live just far outside of Portland, where either it's Portlandia or Letterkenny. I relate to either one of those.
Yeah. I couldn't watch Portlandia. Oh yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I get it. I know a lot of
couldn't
people
watch it 'cause I
watched
thought
it.
it was really weird. I thought, what is
Portland
this
is
place? What is this?
Portland's not that weird. Portland likes to bill itself as weird, but I've been there. I mean, I live next to it. I was like, I don't. You
I've
look
been
like any
there.
other
I live
dork
there.
city. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Aaron, you're weird, so I mean, you can't speak on that.
Isn't that where Grimm was filmed?
Yeah.
I love that show, and it always made it look
Oh,
so.
Grim, I like that show.
Yep.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'd go to visit that place.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
but-
that like they did a
yeah.
lot of stuff. Actually, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think I used to see them filming every once in a while. There were a few times I walked up the street, saw somebody filming something. They filmed Grimm, but there was one other show they filmed around here, and it was like a cop drama or something. I can't remember, so it might have been that.
Yeah.
It's the one from Oni Press with Colby Smulders, is it?
Oh, that makes sense. Yes, because Oni is also in Portland.
Yes.
Oh, of course it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I miss it.
Uh,
All right. What are you guys?
Also, in the chat, real quick, Dempsey says, "Is everyone having a good Easter?" Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Apart from being a snot factory, yes.
Sure.
That was me last
Cooked for
weekend.
the whole family. All right. What's the dumbest thing you've done in the last 24 hours?
Well,
Well,
I
I
mean,
got up
I'm
at
here
1:30
for
in
you,
the
know?
morning.
I'm on the air. I mean, I don't know what else you want from me. I mean,
We have time. That's a long list.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Go for it.
You haven't watched the news yet today? Then you don't know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he brings the kitty.
Okay, I will say the dumbest thing I did is I went out to go grocery shopping and I had to go pick some stuff up and totally forgot it was Easter. I'm like, why is all these places closed? It's Easter.
Yep.
Got it.
It's not really like dumb as in like embarrassing or really even funny. It's just dumb as in an actual poor decision. Saturday mornings is our boxing class, and so we were doing contact sparring, and I threw a couple bad hooks using going overhand when I shouldn't have. I ended up catching the wrong knuckles, so my knuckles and wrists are very sore today.
Oh, wow.
Oh, jeez.
All right. Peter or
Yeah, I
John?
mean, there's nothing for us to do, so it's I can't. I have no room to do anything stupid.
You might be surprised.
Yeah.
Really? Is she
No,
mad
I
at
can't.
you?
Come on, Peter. We know you enough. We know you've done stupid stuff
I know.
in the last
I know.
24
It's
hours.
amazing. I mean, I've got up at 1:30 a.m. in the morning, I suppose, to do this.
All right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That wins. I don't know. Probably my stupidest thing was like I knew that I had to fix a huge meal for everybody today, and yesterday I was like, nah, I'll just do it tomorrow. So I didn't make anything ahead of time. So this morning I got up and I'm like, I gotta do it all. So
That's what I was thinking.
I just didn't feel like it. I could have made so much stuff ahead of time, and I'm like, I just want to read my book. So that's my stupid thing. All right.
But you did it though.
Oh yeah.
So,
I always pull it out.
Yeah, my dumb thing was going to work today.
There you go.
On
Ouch.
Easter Sunday?
The mail doesn't stop for Easter.
It doesn't.
Besides the fact that, also telling folks actually where the celebration of Easter actually came from, they're not ready to hear that.
Yeah.
That's part pagan. I know that.
Oh, it's full pagan.
Gotta get a maypole out.
It's a strata. It's full pagan.
There's
Every single one of our holidays is based on pagan
Christmas is
holidays.
Yule, and for some reason, it always seems to come from the Norse.
yeah.
All right. What's your perfect burger?
One that I cook.
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh,
that's a good question.
are we an aficionado?
I had some pretty decent burgers in America. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
You do good
There's a
burgers.
place. That's a good one to nail it down. I do like a place called Killer Burger.
Yeah.
That place. now to narrow it down in what burger? Tim knows
This
this
is
one.
the double bypass, triple bypass.
God, yeah. They at one burger, and you're pretty much sworn off for burgers for a week. They're rich. Oh my
Mm.
god, they're
Yeah.
good. But afterwards, you're like, now I know what cholesterol feels like.
It's great. It's great for me because it's in a town called Happy Valley, which is between Portland and Mount Hood. So you go up, snowboard
Yeah.
for the day, come down, get your triple bypass burger, and then
I still remember. Did you? When they used to go there, they had a burger there that had like ghost peppers and stuff. They actually on the menu it said "Do not order this." And so I asked the lady, I'm like, "Do people order it?" She's like, "All the time." I said, "Does anyone ever finish it?" No. And I'm like,
No, the question is how many bites do they get in before they chunk it across the room?
Yeah.
It's screaming, talking about make it stop, make
Yeah.
it stop.
It's all ego thing. I mean, just selling it just in the ego. I can see some guy with his girlfriend. I'll do that, honey. I'll be a man. It's in the ER later.
Here in
He's
Memphis,
crying
there's
like a baby.
Here in Memphis, there's a place called the Kooky Canucks, and they've got the Sasquatch.
Oh, I love that name. That's great.
It's a burger like this.
No shit.
It's like a $20 burger, and if you can eat it, you get it for free. It's probably more like a $30
I knew
burger.
that was coming. I'm like, is this the old from?
It's like the first time I saw it, they're like it's like they saw me walk in. Like I'm just, oh, he's big. We can get him to get it.
Yeah.
I looked at it. I said, I almost said it.
Yeah.
No. Oh.
Yeah.
I once, and this has nothing to do with burgers, but I once took a group of my son's football players team out to this Mexican place where they had this burrito that's about as big as a football, right? And there's like, if you can eat this whole thing, you can get it for free. And of course, one of the guys like, oh, that I can eat it no problem. You know, he's like 6'5" and this massive guy.
Yeah, they also have a thing called the Yeti, and it's 19 scoops of ice cream.
Good God.
Does anybody ever live through this experience of going to this place?
I don't know. I mean, I went, but I didn't eat it. No, I didn't eat it. I had me a nice serving of poutine. With cheese curds, gravy, and fries.
Poutine?
Yeah, poutine. And this first time I had it, I was like, oh man, this is so good. Canadians got something right. Besides hockey.
The Canadians have their moments.
They're the only country that we officially surrendered to. It's technically England by way of Canada, but the War of 1812.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys.
Yeah.
I feel like we're Canada's guard dogs.
Isn't there an actual comic? Wasn't there a comic book about us going to war with Canada called like the Old Guard or something like that?
Yes.
Wasn't the Old Guard? The Old Guard's the film, wasn't it? The Immortals.
Was that what it was? The Immortals was based off that comic.
The film on Netflix. Yes. The Old Guard was based on the Old Guard. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that leads me right into my next question.
Oh.
Yeah. What's your favorite movie?
Something is the comic book with the Canadians went. You went to war in water, basically. So I don't know. It was really good. I enjoyed it.
What's your favorite movie from each genre? No, I can't answer this for you because.
Boy, isn't that it?
Why can't you answer this, Barb?
Genre.
Why can't you answer this?
Because I don't watch all the genres. I don't watch horror at all.
Horror.
Last time I watched a horror movie, I laughed at it. Does that mean there's something wrong with me?
I'll throw Alien into the horror bracket and I'll say Alien because I don't watch a lot of horror.
Well, I did see
Alien. Yeah. Once Upon a Time in the West, I think, is an incredible Western. I mean, it's beautifully shot.
No,
it's incredible.
It's okay.
You're wrong.
You're so easy, Peter.
You're wrong. Yeah, you can be wrong, Aaron. It's okay.
Now, are we
Wait a
calling
minute.
it romance or chick flick? Or is it both?
Romantic chick flick, like, come on, dude. I don't want
Rom-com?
to.
I suppose When Harry Met Sally was a good rom-com. As
Sure,
for I'm still hung up on the Lord of the Rings series was
Yes.
amazing. Amazing. I don't know what could top that for me.
Yeah.
I think as far as romance, When Harry Met Sally is probably up there as one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Sex in the City. I like
Excuse me?
that. Sex in the City.
Do
The
tell.
show.
Yeah, the show. The movie.
Right.
The movie sucked. The show was funny. Action, a sci-fi. I think it'd be like
Well, yeah,
Aliens.
tough one.
Probably Tron. As far as that, the original Tron would be up there. As far as one of my favorite sci-fi, I really like the new Dread movie.
Dread was called Pitch Black. You've seen Pitch Black?
Yeah. Pitch Black was great.
Yeah, brilliant.
I think fantasy would probably be the Never-Ending Story, the old original 80s one.
Oh, Labyrinth.
Labyrinth. That was close.
No.
As far as horror, I think there's a movie called The Descent that came out, but the director's cut's the best version of that. I think of other horror movies.
When I was a teenager, there was this really cheesy horror movie that we went to, my brother and my sister and I, called The Legend of Boggy Creek. And it was like your typical B horror movie where the monster lives on the creek and gets after it. The thing was, it was a stupid cheesy film, but on the way home, it was dark and it was really foggy. And my brother, being the asshole that he was, stops on a bridge in the middle of nowhere and opens all the doors. Of course, my sister and I were just like tweens and teens, and we're like, shut the door, we're gonna die. And he's just laughing his ass off. So I still remember that to this day.
I think my favorite movie of all time. I don't think I've seen that movie, but I don't know if it fits a genre. It's a movie called Never Cry Wolf from 1982. But I don't know what genre that would fit into.
Yeah, there's so many genres. There's no way you could pick one out from each one.
And so many good movies exist in multiple genres.
Yeah.
Like, I'd have to say Alien's my favorite horror movie, but Blade Runner is my favorite sci-fi movie. Just so I could say them both.
Yeah.
And whatever you do, don't watch a horror movie with me, because I will talk bad about it and laugh. Because they're ridiculous.
Some horror movies are pretty good. There was another one besides Descent that I really liked.
Probably the only one I thought was good. I mean, and I don't really consider it a horror movie, but for people do. I don't consider it a horror movie. It's 13 Ghosts.
13 Ghosts, I thought actually was really good. I liked that one.
It was decent. I mean, I'm still sitting there going, "Hey, watch this! That person's going to do such and such dumb thing that's always in the horror movie."
I mean, as far as like horror, I mean, I'm a big fan of The Evil Dead, but that's horror comedy mixed.
Right.
Yes. My favorite thriller would be was it Old Dog? Yeah, it's kind of a niche pick, but it's a good one.
I think
you have lots of niche picks, you know that?
Yeah. I think as far as Western, Unforgiven is probably my favorite Western.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
There's a lot of other Westerns I like too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But as far I remember that kind of got me into the Old West genre as a kid, was Unforgiven. So
see, I was raised on John Wayne movies. My mom was a huge John Wayne fan.
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood, the real old ones, like Clintock and what was the one where he's got the one patch over his eye?
Oh yeah.
True Grit. Grit. Yeah. All those movies. Those were great.
What was in the chat? And he says Hellraiser series was good. Which
first Hellraiser was one of my favorites.
I like the first Hellraiser because it did what it intended to do, but then I liked the remainder of it because it got into weird World War I mythos, and I just appreciated that from a nerd standpoint.
Yeah, I like some of the second one, and then I don't think I watched many of them after
No,
that. I saw
no.
here or there, but the
They were
first Hellraiser's
horrible.
classic.
I like the Wikipedia page better than I do the movies.
Yeah.
Like, give me the lore dive. I don't.
Yeah.
For sci-fi, and I know most people wouldn't consider this sci-fi, but I do. I got to go with Iron Man, the first Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's a classic. It's going to always be a classic because it was so well done. It had just the perfect combination of humor and science fiction, and it's believable science fiction. It's like, okay, that could really happen.
Yep.
You know, and it was just highly entertaining.
Like,
I don't know. I
kind
think
of.
that was more of an action movie than sci-fi.
Well, it's a superhero film. Superhero is now a genre of its own, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's what I was going to ask. I think it is. I think isn't like
Probably.
I think also like
Yeah.
good, like I said, like good movies can exist in multiple genres, and superheroes by definition exist in multiple genres. Like Old Man
Action
Logan
films
feels like a
yeah.
western.
yeah. We could
True.
definitely see the influences on that one. Yeah.
Old Man Logan hurts my soul.
What is that?
I didn't think you had a soul, John.
You're right.
Yeah.
I don't. It hurts my comic book soul.
The comic book soul.
Yeah. I look at it. I go, they messed it up even more.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because that's not how it should have gone at all whatsoever.
It's just
It
not.
was
It's
just
not
bad.
clever.
It was bad.
That
And I'm
wasn't
not a
bad.
fan of. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Hugh Jackman.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
That's whoa, Jesus.
You're wrong, Peter.
Well, that's very rare.
Oh, I like Hugh Jackman.
I love you, Jackman.
Didn't
Hugh Jackman would be a good Wolverine if
he wasn't so tall?
if you wanted him to be this sophisticated character that's a model.
Do you know who I
Uh,
think would have made a great Wolverine?
He's too pretty to be Wolverine.
Scott Conn.
Mm.
I think would have made a
Yes.
great Wolverine. And he's 5'5". You know, and he's built like a brick shithouse.
Did
And
you?
he's a martial artist.
Yeah. Did you hear that we almost got a? I don't know if we knew this. We almost got a Danny DeVito Wolverine back in the '80s.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
That is one of the stories that Chris Claremont tells about about almost having the Wolverine movie.
Yep. And but at the same time, we almost got a Nicolas Cage Superman. So that would have been an interesting time for comics if what those happened.
That would have tanked the entire industry right there. We would have never seen what we have now with the big DCU and the MCU. And they would have tanked the industry. All right, so if somebody walked up to you and handed you a briefcase with $1 million in it, what would you do?
I'd walk off and say thanks.
What would you do
Thanks,
with it?
Concise.
Finally, thank you. Finally getting on a mode.
I know.
What would I do with it?
Mhm.
I'd buy a house or two and a new car.
Yeah.
He buys
That's
one
probably
car
my,
to drive between his houses.
that's probably my £1 million. That's probably my £1 million done. To be honest.
That's a Toyota Corolla.
Just keeping it simple.
Won't get me far. It'll get me two places: one to live in, one to rent out,
Yep.
and a new car. And I'm done.
Yep.
Thanks.
So I'd probably
Now 100 million. 100 million. That's a different matter.
yeah.
I could really do some stuff with that.
Like what?
You get superpowers.
You set yourself up, Peter.
I would. Yeah. I'd have. Oh, the comics I could buy. I'd have my own little like place of just comics. It's just mine. I'd have a boat. I would just be on holiday for the rest of my life, journeying from one place to another. I wouldn't need friends. I wouldn't need anything. Just be brilliant.
Well, since I'm already on holiday for the rest of my life, I'm retired, although we don't, not terribly well to do or anything. We're blue collar. I think I'd take that $1 million and I would sink it into Silverline. Seriously.
Yeah,
I
I'd
would
probably
bring
start
up-
my own business.
I would sink it into Silverline. I would bring on top talent, and we'd be going to Diamond, and
Oh, we're all gone.
Yeah.
and
She's like, I'd buy a
Peter-
tiara, I'd buy a throne. You can all
No.
call me
Yeah.
queen.
Is working for us now.
no,
And-
I'm
Drake
old enough that
Julio.
I'm old enough that I don't need any of that shit, but I really would like to put a stamp on the industry through Silverline. So I would sink
Yeah.
it into the business.
Yeah.
Be able to pay page rates up front. Wouldn't you guys love that?
Yes.
And have a honest to God accountant. I mean, not that I wasn't an accountant before, but I'm just playing at it now. I mean, I have a real accountant and stuff. And then Roland could do this full time.
Yeah.
Become Roland and BJ could be full-time CEO and editor in chief, and I could sit back and be the boss, I guess.
Count your millions.
How about-
Sit back there, like what's the widow and the old Tweety? She'd be throwing stacks of money in the fireplace.
$1 million isn't going to be stacks of money in the fireplace.
Yeah, I know.
These days, it doesn't go that far.
Yeah. So I'd probably pay off my student loans, get myself a modest house, middle of nowhere, and then probably find some way to invest in affordable housing in the area. Either like do some developmental rentals or something like that. Just the homeless situations were all bad, and I like to do what I can to try and help with that.
You're a good man. I would run away with my money.
You see,
For everyone else.
my house is already paid off. We have no debt, and so I would take it and do something. Yeah, invest it in a business. How about you, John?
Oh, let's see, Hulk 181 and 180. I have those two. See, I brought comics into it.
Yeah.
So did I.
But then I'd have to, I'd have to get out of here, out of Memphis.
Yeah.
I'd have to go.
Where would you go?
I don't know, but there's a high chance that people only hear from me on the internet.
Let's say you could join Bubba. He said he'd moved to Ecuador and just draw.
No, not Ecuador.
There's a great copy there.
But yeah.
All right. Next question. What flavor combination is kind of weird, but you really like it?
Ooh.
Steak sauce and peanut butter.
Uh,
Particularly on a burger. You can get I found out about this in there's a burger shop down in Orlando, and then I found out you can do it here, but you just get like typical burger, just light A1 sauce and then a light peanut butter sauce. Like not like chunky peanut butter, like peanut butter sauce. It's peak. It hits your sweet and salties.
Oh, see, I like peanut butter and pickle sandwiches.
There you
Oh yeah, those are good.
Some weird people.
go.
I'm with Peter on this.
Yeah.
Weird.
Well,
weird people.
How about
I don't
you,
have
Peter?
I don't think I have anything weird. I like to keep my life normal.
What are you
Yeah,
doing
no,
on this show?
Well,
I mean,
I know, right? I don't think I have anything particularly weird.
Well, it may not seem weird to you, but it
Oh,
would be weird.
no one said to me, "You're weird," ever. I mean, obviously, they have.
Not to your face.
Not about food. Yeah, no one said anything about food. I don't know. I like Marmite, but Marmite's one of those things.
All right, I
you
was
like
just going to
and
ask. I suppose you like Marmite.
I do like Marmite. Yeah, I do actually. Guys, yeah.
Okay, that's weird.
No, I don't.
Isn't that just like eating yeast right out of the jar? Marmite?
Is it? I find it nice. I think it's
Yeah.
tasty. Tasty. No, I don't think I do anything weird. I eat any strange combinations or anything. The restaurants I frequent don't tend to offer that. They tend to just offer Normal food for normal people.
We don't have any of them in this country.
I don't think you have those.
Especially not in Portland,
No.
apparently.
Definitely not in Portland.
No.
I've seen the show. There's definitely none there.
Really, is our entire city going to be basically painted by that show now?
Oh yes, I hadn't heard of it until then.
Or by what Tim was telling the people right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm A1 and peanut. What the?
Well, I discovered that in Orlando.
God?
Yeah, I noticed you dropped that in to save yourself.
My-
Wubba says Lebna and apricot jam on pita bread. And Wubba, you should be able to join through the Facebook chat if you can. I don't know what your audio situation is.
My brother used to like to eat pickles and chocolate together. Yeah.
Was
I
he
thought that was
pregnant?
That's
Long
kinda
time ago.
Tim was when he had the A1 and peanut butter.
I mean, it's. Oh god. I mean, it's the same thing like by if you're. I guess the Japanese equivalent would be doing squid tentacle and peanut butter sauce. It's just the American version of that is a burger with A1 sauce.
I don't know if I have any weird
It's your umami.
taste combinations.
You mean
Yeah.
umami?
I said it's your umami. Yeah.
No.
All right. Next one. What website or app has completely changed your life for better or for worse?
Clip Studio.
Mm.
Oh, we're going to go with the art stuff.
Yeah, Clip Studio because I pencil now basically on that, and I can just change things. Whereas I used to have to light box and use a photocopier to blow things up, and no, I don't do any
I
of that
remember
anymore.
those days.
Yeah, I don't have to do any of that anymore. I just
I
draw
had
it
a
in Clip Studio and
massive light box.
expand it, shrink it, move it. It does mean that sometimes it takes longer because I can play around with it more.
And
But
then you
then
go
I
down a
hope-
rabbit hole.
I hope the result is better. I don't ink digitally. I don't want to do that. But so I guess because I think if you ink digitally, there are 1,000 million things you could be doing, and you'll be there forever. But penciling, I just pencil it, do my roughs or whatever I want to do, and print them out. It's great, revolutionary.
In chat, Wubba also says Clip Studio. Dempsey says Instagram and Twitter, and I feel like it's kind of changed the world for better or worse. Social media.
Facebook. I think that was the worst thing that ever happened.
Yeah,
And Twitter.
Yeah.
I think people have
but
gotten
you can
100
reach
times
people
more.
you couldn't reach before.
Yeah, you can reach
traditionally
people.
you'd have to go get published or go to convention.
People have
Yeah,
gotten
you
100
post
times
it.
more vicious
Mm-hmm.
because they have the bravery of anonymity behind Twitter and Facebook, and they can
Yeah, I'd
just
say they've always been like that. They just now have a means to vent it without any consequence.
yeah.
People always
I
be
don't
horrible.
think I've had any app or thing completely change my world. I guess I'm
Right.
born that way. I don't know. I guess I'm man.
Silverlinecomics.com.
So
Yeah.
take the completely out and just say what website or app has changed your life for better or for worse instead of completely changed.
Oh, there was one that pretty much told me that I'm one ugly MFer. No, I'm kidding. But John tried out for OnlyFans. No.
Yes. 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 I'd probably say there's a tool called Grammarly, which is great for writing. As it's on the fly proofing. So as you're writing whatever Word doc you use, it'll just check it for whatever, and you can get upgrades. So it also does tone and presentation style. So whether or not you're doing it formal, informal, what type of mood you're trying to convey. So it's like, of course, those things you have to do your own pass afterwards, but it's great for those first passes when you wrote something that 1 o'clock in the morning and it looks like you're drunk.
Hmm.
Don't look
Yeah,
at any of that right.
I love word processing. The first time I saw a word processor on a computer, now remember I'm old, I was blown away. I was like, oh my God, this is the best thing since sliced bread. Because I mean, before then it was a typewriter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was amazing. And it would correct your misspelling or suggest different spellings
Yeah.
for you, which was great. All right. What do you wish you could tell yourself from 10 years ago? Or if you could go back 10 years and tell yourself something, what do you wish you could do?
Quit your job and just stick with the art.
Mm.
Yeah, I'd quit 10 years ago, not 10 years later.
Definitely would
Easy.
have told myself, draw.
Also, probably
Yeah.
the lottery numbers. Lottery numbers. Invest in Apple.
Mm.
We said 10 years. We're not that far back there, Pete.
I still think you'd see a sizable increase.
No, you would, yeah.
Go back and invest in Zoom.
Oh yeah.
Zoom.
Yeah.
There's several companies that have, in the last 10 years, that have taken off like fire that I would love to
I mean, at
invest
that point,
in.
you would have been able to buy a Tesla for about $30 a share. Now it's at 800.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard just tell myself to keep on writing and don't bother with soccer. You're like lifting way more.
Yeah.
Aaron?
No idea.
No idea.
10 years ago is not that far. I don't know.
Yeah, for me,
no idea.
I would rather go back 50 years and tell myself something, or 30 years. God, no, I would go back to, I know exactly what I would go back to. I would go back to 1999.
1999.
Would
Tell
you party
myself-
like it's 1999? Should you go back to
Nope.
that party? Go back to that party like it's 1999.
No, that's when I decided to take a break from comics. That was the worst mistake I ever made.
Oh.
I would have stuck it out. I don't care if I would have had to work, in a factory part-time. I should have stuck it out. Because once you're out, it's 100 times harder to get back in. So I never did recoup that same level of success. And and people forget who you are. So I would have gone back to 1999. All right. Do you have any pets? And what are their names? I know that
Yes.
Aaron's got one on his lap right now, don't you?
Yeah, I did. That was Bailey. The other one is named Butters.
Butters from South Park.
Well, her name was Peanut. Then it went to Peanut Butter and Butters. But yeah, Butters from South Park.
I have
That's what we call it.
2 cats. One is Black Sabbath. The other is Tom Petty.
Oh my
Oh.
God. That's awesome.
Yes, I have a dog, pug, called Drax. Drax the
Drax.
Destroyer.
Well, obviously, I've seen him. You can tell that. That dog's
I don't know where he is now, sleeping somewhere on someone's bed.
How old is your dog?
He's 5.
Okay, so he's about middle age. All right.
Yeah, I have 4 dogs and a cat.
Jeez.
Yeah, I think I've heard your
And
dog's
the
bark
names?
a few times.
Yeah, and
Dixie, Lucy, Tyson, Bear, and Jinx. Guess which is which?
Nope. I had no idea.
She's like, no, just no, I'm not going to. You can't make-
Dixie is the Chihuahua Dachshund mix, and she's tiny. Lucy's the Beagle Corky mix. Bear is the Lab Pit Shepherd mix. Tyson's a boxer, and Jinx is the cat.
I have one cat, Shadow. She was my mom's cat. When my mom went into assisted living, then we inherited her. So I didn't name her. And she's diabetic, so she requires 2 insulin shots a day. And she's very, very spoiled. We've always had cats. We're not dog people.
I was at the Stephen Wright named his dog. Named his dog Stay. It's like, come here, stay. Come here, stay. He's like, now every time I say it, he just ignores me and keeps on typing. Which I'm like, what does that mean? So you guys ever
Make a
listen to Stephen
dog
Wright?
schizophrenic.
Oh God, Stephen Wright's hilarious.
Do you have any pets, Tim?
Oh, yeah, my the cats, Tom Petty and Black Sabbath.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm drifting.
Well,
right.
Wubba says he doesn't have pets since his Roddy Dahlia passed.
Oh,
Where is Wabba? He's
I told him he could join through the Facebook chat. He just needs to click the camera on the messenger. Should be a camera icon up next to the chat name.
All right. What keeps you up at night?
my art.
Yeah, pages I've got to do. So many pages to do. So many. Oh, I've got another one to do.
Clinical anxiety.
Clinical anxiety. What keeps me up at night? Oh God, I don't know. Worrying about everybody but myself, I guess. The kids.
I don't have that problem.
I don't worry about anyone.
I don't worry about people. That's their problem. They can look after themselves.
You have kids, right?
No, I have a
Wait
dog.
till you do.
He said that like, no, why you curse me like that?
Yeah.
Just wait till you do. Then you'll be up
No,
at
what
night.
have you heard? No, what have you heard? Who said so?
Anytime the phone rings after 9 o'clock, I'm like, my heart goes, you know. All right, we'll move on from that one. What movie was great when it came out, but hasn't aged well?
Well, that's a good question. I really enjoyed Batman Superman when I was sitting in the cinema. But then after further reflection, I was like, that doesn't make sense. Why did he do that? And then that scene I didn't like that scene. So yeah, no, it didn't age. And oddly enough, I did watch the extended version. It was a much, much better film. But it's still not wonderful. But yeah. So that's
Why didn't it age well?
Because when you're in the cinema, I get caught up in, oh, this is really fun. This is really crazy. There's lots going on. And then you have time to think about it afterwards. You're like, yeah, that was a bit naff, that Martha thing. That was a bit naff. Yeah, I don't think I did like that. It was a bit cheesy. And I didn't like how Batman was in that film. How super aggressive he was to try and kill Superman. But But the extended version is a much better film. Made a lot more sense. And also they threw Wonder Woman in there, which, while she was a highlight of the film, it seemed a bit just squeeze more stuff in here. And Lex Luthor, I hate that Lex Luthor. I hate that Lex Luthor. It's so bad. That tech brat is no, that's not Lex Luthor.
It's just Mark Zuckerberg as Lex Luthor.
Yeah, they should have just got what's his name, Lex Luthor from Smallville, because he's the best Lex Luthor. And just gone with it. But no, that was terrible. Worst Lex Luthor ever. Wonderful actor, worst Lex Luthor ever.
Aaron?
You guys always ask me.
What did you like when it came out?
You hate
looking back on it, it's like,
Aaron.
oh, why did I ever like that movie?
I know. Okay, fine. I'll say it. The original Star Wars has not aged well for me.
Let's turn him off. How do we turn him off?
I get through that movie.
He was going to say something stupid. Let's just turn him off. It was inevitable. Original Star Wars.
Oh, Peter's having a cow.
I know.
I knew it was coming. Something ridiculous was about to be said.
It tastes better than the original Tron has.
Tron
not
is...
if you're a fan of Mobius and all them.
No. I mean, that's just blowing the whole conversation, isn't it?
I know.
Where do we go from here?
The next question, I suppose. What's The embarrassing story that your parents used to tell others about you. Anything?
Oh, I used to walk into lampposts.
Oh,
As a kid,
Okay.
I'd always walk into lampposts. At the time, I didn't find that embarrassing. I just thought, well, yeah. I mean, if you don't see them, they're going to be there, aren't they? So
Was
there's
that
that.
before or after glasses?
Oh no, that's long before glasses. I didn't get glasses until I was in my mid to late 20s.
Oh crap!
Not having that long. But yeah, no. Used to walk into lampposts. I don't know. You'd have to ask them, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm sure they say things behind my back. Not that I'm paranoid.
Any of you guys? Your
Uh,
parents used-
probably that I used to just be a chronic projectile vomiter.
Which you did.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
not much of a choice on my part, but still.
I can't think of anything. I mean, like you hear horror stories about parents going, "Oh yes, Johnny was a bedwetter," stuff like that. But no, my parents never did anything like that. So
No.
I guess I escaped that.
I
Right.
don't know. Is it embarrassing if they don't talk about you at all?
My mom manages to embarrass me every single day, but that's current. So, what's your plan for surviving a zombie invasion?
Well, it's easier for you guys, isn't it? Because you've all got guns. It's a little trickier over here. Don't have any of that.
Yeah.
Don't you have a like in
I've got a
Walking
cricket
Dead
bat.
with the
I've got a
bat
cricket
with
bat.
Yeah,
Cricket bat, like in
just-
Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead. Yeah, that's probably the plan. That's probably most British people's plan, is to go to the pub and wait for it all just to blow over.
Yes. Yes.
Well, you
So-
know, if you ask Alexa, she tells you that England's the first to fall in the zombie
Is
apocalypse
that right?
in 2028.
Oh
And
really?
it starts there because somebody did something they shouldn't have, I guess. In England, imagine that England, the cause of another world problem.
Here's a question. Who was it? Who thought to ask Alexa? Oh, sorry. I didn't say anything. Oh, who thought to
Yeah,
ask?
she's always listening. She's always
Oh.
listening.
Yes. About surviving an zombie invasion.
Well, see, there's this rabbit hole called TikTok, and it popped up when I was kind of trying to figure out things, and it's one of the videos that pops up, and I was like, "What?"
Well, let's ask. Let's ask Alexa. How do you survive a zombie invasion?
Here's something I found on the web. According to maths.org, running away is a more successful strategy than trying to slow the zombies down. Thus, fleeing for your life should be the first action of any human wishing to survive.
There you go. Run away.
Yeah.
It depends what sort of zombies you've got, doesn't it? If you've got
Yeah.
the zombies that can't run, then you're sort of. I think you're okay.
It's
If
like
they can run,
Are these Romero zombies or
yeah.
these
Yeah.
new zombies? Yeah.
Yeah, no,
What
I
was
have
it?
a whole plan. Me and my brother have a whole plan.
What was that? He'll become a
Okay.
zombie.
I want to hear this.
Yeah, we have a whole plan, and it's kind of where we go through and we knock off pawn shops and stuff like that, and start picking up supplies. We're gonna snatch somebody's semi truck, and we're gonna work things out. We're gonna go somewhere off the beaten path, out in the woods, and containers, whatever. Build a shelter. Go from there, and then I start with all the supplies we have now filled up a few semi trucks with. I will start laying out like a claymore minefield because I know how to make homemade stuff. So yeah, and probably get a bunch of sheep because sheep are really good alarms.
All right.
Yeah, our plan was to make it out to the coast along the way, pick up either a solar or a hand crank generator, an AM/FM radio with wideband, and when you get to the port, hopefully by that point, no one else has had the same idea and takes someone's boat, several kilos worth of fishing equipment, and just hang out in the middle of the ocean for a while until the radio says it's all clear.
Probably not the greatest idea, because what are you going to do when you run out of water?
Hmm.
I mean, we'll give you a filtration system.
Okay.
All right. Well, it depends on if it's World War Z type of zombies or the shuffling type of zombies. If it's World War Z, you're kind of probably screwed before you even start.
Mhm.
If it's regular type zombies, then my father has a farm in Iowa, and you are correct. There are firearms. He collects and generators and the whole works. And here's the thing you have to remember is that anything like that, whether it's civil disturbance, unrest, anarchy, or zombies, people are going to follow the line of drift. What is the line of drift, you say? That's the easiest path for people to take.
Mhm.
Highways, interstates, places that are easy to walk. So you want to get off of the line of drift. Fortunately, the farm I was raised on is out of the line of drift. It's kind of rural and remote, and it's already there, and it's already got everything. It's 120 acres. Just head for the farm. That's what you would do.
My grocery list for the supplies includes solar panels and generators and all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
And I'll be
can't
way
help-
off the beaten path, and there will also be a few 50 cals.
Mhm.
So you'll know when they're getting close because you'll hear them.
I can't help but
Yeah.
feel you guys have given this way more thought than
Well,
I
yeah.
have.
Well,
Well,
I came to the idea that the best action for at least for the crew of our size is to avoid conflict altogether, because your three elements of combat in a situation are speed, surprise, and violence of action. Once you lose one of those, you lose all three. With zombies, you're already out of violence of action. You're not going to be as violent as a zombie. Chances are you're also going to lose surprise because, I mean, they're just going to shamble up on you because in some way they're some sort of predator. So they're hunting you, you're not hunting them, and so you're never going to have all elements of battle when engaging with the zombies. So the best line of action is to tactically retreat and then wait for a more advantageous position to come back into society with.
Retreat and fortify and build great defenses that will take them out for you.
You gotta remember that even if you don't have not thinking about zombies, I mean, there's always situations that you want to be prepared for. And I was raised, like I said, on a farm, and we were extremely self-sufficient my entire childhood. So you can't just tell yourself, if you're like from the city, oh, I'm going to go live out in the woods. Well, how are you going to survive? You got to have some knowledge, and you got to study up on it. I've got whole bookshelves on homesteading and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm a bit of a survivalist. I've got about 6 months worth of food in the house at any one time. But that's the way I was raised. I was raised on a farm where we butchered our own meat. We raised our own food. We always had a year's worth of food on hand when I was growing up. That was just the way it was done. So it's not exactly that I'm a survivalist. It's just that I'm practical.
This conversation is just reinforcing a lot of American stereotypes.
It is.
Quentin says his plan is to become a zombie, then you're good to survive, and you have plenty to eat. The zombie grocery list is people, people, and people.
Yeah, it basically is. Yeah. What do you do when you run out of people?
I'd say, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Is like,
well, the zombies will then mutate to the point where they start eating each other.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a good idea.
Well, and then next, zombies are gone, and Mother Earth inherits the planet again.
Yeah. And then at some point, the crabs or the squid inherit the Earth, and they just correct everything we did wrong.
All right, I'm trying to find another good question here. What fad or trend do you hope comes back? Wow. Talk about dead space.
Surge kind of half committed with the comeback. I want them to like full commit. Just
Yes, but this time go adult drinks with the Surge. Surge and tequila.
What's a surge? What's a surge?
It was bigger in the 90s, but it was your monster before energy drinks were really a thing. It was just super caffeinated, super sugary.
Oh, it's energy drink.
Lime drink from Pepsi. Now they have kind of Coke. You're right. And they've kind of relaunched it at Burger King's or restaurants where you use the Coke Freestyle drink machine. But they did a limited re-release on Amazon and brick and mortar stores. I want them to full commit to the re-release.
Yes, and sell it with a mixer and make it a mixer for tequila.
There you go.
Because you do not taste the tequila when you mix it with Surge. All you taste is the Surge.
It's like Mountain Dew and gin.
Then it hits you like a bomb later.
Generally, after a fifth, yes.
Something I learned while working in community theater is also Mountain Dew and gin. You do not taste the gin and you die afterwards.
Good to know.
And of course, sake just by itself. Wait, we weren't talking about drinking, were we?
I can drink champagne like pop, though.
Interesting.
And it doesn't leave me with a hangover.
Huh.
Because it's champagne.
Aaron, what are you doing?
Coloring.
He's
very focused.
Sorry.
He's researching the zombie survival.
Photoshop was screwing up. It was doing something weird, so I was trying to figure it out.
Zombie survival stores in Portland.
Yes, didn't give to the full commitment of the technical issues though with the Photoshop, where he starts throwing his pen across the wall and screaming.
Yeah. So I had to restart it. It seems to be working now.
He's making the hate mail for Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm just not a fan of Star Wars. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Star Wars is like your basic lowest form of it's your generic storytelling. It's the hero's tale. There's nothing mentally to invest in it. It's it's good versus evil. Beyond that, it's just there's just nothing else to it.
It's a cowboy movie.
So when you watch stuff like, when my minor was philosophy in college and I saw The Matrix, that was something I can invest in it. Tron was something imaginative, but Star Wars is just like, it's every other sci-fi show series you've ever seen. And it's just like, over the years, it just becomes like the most generic thing. My friend Tom, me and my friend Tom,
anyway.
What?
I said philosophy is just BSing with each other anyway.
Well, I mean, it's just, I'm sorry. I mean, it's weird. I guess it's just a part of me that when it comes to fandom, like, it gets kind of annoying when it's like Star Wars, Doctor Who, Harry Potter, and that's it. Like, you can count like the 5 fandoms on one hand, and it's like, doesn't anyone ever look or research anything else? And it's like, no. It's either Star Wars, Harry Potter, Star Trek, Doctor Who. That's it.
Lord of the Rings.
Supernatural.
Lord of the Rings. But there's just nothing else that people ever did. When I mention any other comic, any other movie I'm into, they just have no idea what I'm talking about. And I'm always amazed at this. I'm like, don't anybody ever break out of those 5 fandoms? But they don't. And it gets really, really boring. I cannot talk about Star Wars. There's just nothing more to talk about Star Wars. What else is to talk about that
more than 5 fandoms, though.
But I mean, it's just nothing else. Like, I get it. I get the mythology. I get people like it. That's fine. It's just not for me.
Every story has been...
What we'll do is we'll wait till the Bad Batch comes out on Disney Plus, and we can all watch it together, and we can talk about how good it is.
It's the same thing with it's just there's just nothing to any of that stuff that invigorates me. I literally glaze over when I watch that stuff.
I will say that
there's nothing there.
I did grow up loving the original trilogy, but Star Wars did not become my religion until I got into the extended universe, particularly like the Rogue Squadron books, which is it's Band of Brothers pilots in Star Wars. Then there goes a lot to like war psychology, and that's more like, oh, there's so much more to this. And so now, I mean, especially with the most recent trilogy being the way that it is, Star Wars just exists as the expanded universe mostly for me.
Oh, you mean that universe that Disney recanted?
Yeah,
And then the lady, and then the lady
Nah.
team.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh no!
let's do that then.
Oh, there you go.
oh, he's back. John, we lost you midpoint.
And then when you came back, that's we
All
yeah,
that
but we
source
missed the
material is all that stuff you recanted.
Yes.
You like Judge Dredd though, right, Aaron?
Yeah. Well, I mean, my favorite comic that I grew up with is Appleseed. Have any of you guys ever read or heard of Appleseed?
Yes.
Tim has.
No.
No, never have. Have you guys ever heard of it?
Yes.
Anyone else? You ever read it?
No.
No.
Just
See, this is
heard
what
of
I'm
it.
saying. So when I go to other fans, say I'm a huge fan of Appleseed. Me and my friend Tom, we actually met. I met my friend Tom over Appleseed because the only other person who liked it. So when they actually brought out a movie, there's 3 movies of this. It was like a really cool big thing. But like generally, no one else knows about this stuff. And this is kind of like, so when I talk to other fans, it's glazed over, but I mentioned Star Wars and they are bright up. I'm like, okay, it's Star Wars again.
No one's freaking out about
No,
the same thing you're freaking out
it's just
about.
me. I'm just
Yeah.
so tired of hearing about that stuff. I'm like, is there anything else? No, there's just not. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
I like stories about where there's the anti-hero who turns out to be the hero.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, he's the bad boy, the misunderstood, but he's he's good at heart.
Yeah.
You know. So, and I know Peter likes Judge Dredd. Did you know that I worked on the Judge Dredd comic books?
Oh,
I
did
think you
you?
said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like Judge Dredd. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't read many Judge Dredd comic books, but I do like Judge Dredd.
I was working on
particularly
it
like the film.
right as Planet Hollywood in Chicago was opening.
Mm.
And so I got in there the opening day. They had this big event and it corresponded with Chicago Comic-Con. And I got to go like I was all that in a bag of chips.
Mhm.
So that was kind of cool. But all right. What fictional place would you most like to go?
Fictional place.
Fictional
my-
place.
New Zealand.
Oh,
That's not
New Zealand
fictional.
fictional place.
Unless you're gonna go to Hobbitville
Yeah.
or whatever that is.
Actually, Hobbiton
Ooh.
wouldn't be the worst because even though the rest of Middle Earth is kind of in the crapper, they make a point of saying that adventure never really seems to find Hobbiton. So if you just want to lay low
yeah,
and
that
chill,
would be
yeah.
So
I'd say
fictional-
Fantasia.
Yeah.
I want to go to Fantasia. That'd be mine.
Like the
Ooh.
Disney's Fantasia?
No, Never Ending Story.
Oh, from Neverending Story. I really
Mhm.
like that.
Yeah.
I would have to say Rivendell. Is it Rivendell?
Yeah.
Rivendell, the
Yeah.
Elf.
The elves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
Last harborage of the Eldar.
The what?
It's the last harborage of the old race.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes.
Say that's like Rivendell and Hobbiton are 2 places in Middle Earth you want to go if you don't want to die.
There you go.
I see what I mean.
Unless you want to get on the gray ships.
Yeah.
You're
Peter?
not going to die in the Undying Lands.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Like,
I'd
would you like to go
go.
to Narnia, maybe?
No,
No, not Narnia.
no, no.
Coruscant.
Everyone wants
There's cats.
everyone wants
Wars.
a wardrobe that you can open and go to a different place. That's a very cool idea.
But you wouldn't necessarily want to go to Narnia.
No, not really. It's not high on my list of places. Just trying to think what books. Oh, so I read a series of books by Stephen Erickson called Malazan, Book of the Fallen. There's like
Yep, I
10
know.
books.
Uh,
So I would happily go any of those places. That's there's some cool books, some cool stuff going on there.
In the chat, Wobba says Deep Space Nine, which is
Deep Space Nine. That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
Jennifer
Yeah.
Luder says she wants to live with Aslan.
oh, yeah.
There.
Yeah.
There she goes. That's somebody who wants to go to Narnia. You didn't answer, John.
Because I'm thinking. Not sure.
What's your favorite fantasy?
Oh,
No,
careful,
not sexual.
Careful. Yes, the same.
The problem is I read a lot of Grimdark also, so a lot of places you go, you would die instantly.
Well, that's just it.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
that I read and watch is
Yeah.
not very fun places. I would want to stay.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit here like I don't know.
If you go to Marvel New York, you have to rehome every 6 months, and at least one person in your family dies each year.
Yeah, if you're gonna go live in Stark Tower, you can guarantee that it's gonna blow up at least once a year. So
Well, then you can go Marvel Canada.
Oh yeah. Well, then you have to occasionally deal with the Hulk just randomly popping up and Wolverine fighting through your town.
All right, here's a fun one for you guys. You'll love it. What's the worst injury you've ever gotten?
Oh, nothing too bad. I
Yeah.
dislocated my elbow once.
Oh.
My right elbow. When I was playing cricket, but that was pretty bad. I had to go to hospital to get that put back in. And I remember saying to my mum when I was in hospital, so if they're going to take my arm off, I'd rather you just kill me.
Dislocated elbow?
Yeah, because they give me a lot of gas by that point. And I was like, if they're going to take the arm off, just let me die. It was pretty drastic.
I was
But then I
playing
went.
football.
Yeah.
I was playing football, and this finger, which is the reason why it's kind of funny, it's kind of slightly twisted. This finger came out of socket. It actually popped out of socket right here on this this knuckle and laid across these two fingers.
Oh, that sounds fun.
And well, especially since I just snapped it back in place and kept playing and kept on football practice.
Jeez.
I remember I fell down and almost bit my tongue in half. That was the one I remember the most. But it healed up. Other than that, I can't think of anything. Yeah.
How about you, Tim?
It's a tie between either rupturing my abdominal wall or tearing my Achilles heel.
I would say rupturing your abdominal wall.
What were you doing?
You could go septic.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah. Yeah. That was it was actually playing golf, which is the weirdest way to get hurt. But as chipping out of a wedge, I misjudged where I was chipping. Got my wedge stuck into what turned out to be clay and not a sand feature. Momentum continued in my lower body, but stopped in my upper body, and my muscle wall just decided to stop holding together.
Oh boy, that sounds horrible.
I think I might be the one person to be stretchered off of a golf course.
No, my brother-in-law managed to have the golf cart in front of him back up and almost take his leg off. So.
Oh, yeah.
I had a skull fracture when I was in first grade.
Ooh.
Playing on the playground, did something stupid, got a skull fracture. So, and back then, they didn't get real. This is back in the 60s, right? So they didn't get all excited about stuff like that.
Yeah. Here's some ibuprofen, walk it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. My mom took me to the local GP, had his little clinic on Main Street. He was a little guy and trundles out this massive X-ray machine that weighs about 1,000 pounds, and takes an X-ray of my head. Yep, she's got a skull fracture. Keep her quiet for the next 6 weeks. Don't let her go out to recess. And if she starts bleeding from her ears, take her to the hospital. That's it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Now, I've had 6 major concussions since then, so now you know I'm the way I am.
Why you black out
How
from
are
time to
you,
time.
Barbara?
Jennifer says my main artery was cut in my right wrist. Maybe.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. So cut artery. Loba had a car accident, shattered his leg and arm. And Jennifer also says ectopic pregnancy sucks. Yeah. Quentin,
I can't talk about some of my injuries because they may or may not be connected to something illegal.
Quentin says, I had a broken leg before, and fell from 7 feet, but by far the 3-inch nail in my knee was the worst. Oh, yeah. From a bike wreck, yeah. I used to work deconstruction, and the amount of nails you just find in you at the what's where like
It's kind of like working at a bar because I broke up a fight and I had a steak knife hanging out of my arm one time, and I just pulled it out, threw it down on the bar, and my boss was looking at me like, "Does that not hurt?" No, like, why?
My intention was elsewhere. It's like you're swinging the sledge for someone, you have so much adrenaline. You look in your brain like, oh, this is protruding through my toe.
Yeah.
I had my big toe cut off and a bunch of the other toes crushed one time, and I went to the emergency room and I'm going, look at that, because he flips the toe back on and sews it back on. He goes, you seem to be taking this fairly calmly. Most people would be crying. I'm going, what? And give myself a headache on top of it?
Mm-hmm.
So what good would that do?
General said, God bless you, Barb. I hope you're all channeling these awful things into your comics. It makes them interesting. Yes. Not to change the subject, Jennifer asks, wondering what screenwriting software or the template is best for writing comics. Something that I'm guessing that means does not, and that does cost a lot. Something that does not cost a lot. I would say, being someone who does scripting on the frequent, use any word processor you can find. Myself and a bunch of others use just Google Docs. You don't need to hit any particular format. You can find sample pages online. Some people try to make it look like a screenplay, but you don't need to. If you look at how Marvel does scripting compared to DC or Indies, it's vastly different. So however you want to write what works best for communication between you, your artist, and everyone else, that's the format you should use.
Yeah.
Yeah, if any of our
So
audience has questions,
Yeah.
please put them down. We'll get to those too.
Yeah.
All right. This seems like kind of a stupid question on the year of the pandemic, but what big event do you think will happen soon that most people aren't expecting?
Any?
Not a pandemic. Not
Yeah.
pandemic.
Yes.
Pandemic 2.0.
Perfect, yeah. Another boat gets stuck in the Suez.
Oh, that was so funny. So ridiculous.
That was, wasn't it?
Yeah. Whoever had that in their
Shots
bingo card.
fired.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being that boat captain, like me on the phone? Hi, boss.
Good. I'm gonna be late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how to tell you this, but I'm sideways in the Suez.
Apparently, somebody's going back to that dreadful app, that dreadful app, that rabbit hole of an app.
Mm.
Somebody actually was like, you get a couple of rednecks out there, you can have that thing unstuck in an hour.
Yeah, I love to see there's like on TikTok is just the rednecks explaining how they do it. I was like, all right, here we go. We're gonna get 2 Ford Rangers on either side of the canal. We put a rope on either end of the boat, put it through a snatch block. No one knows how much a snatch block can hold, but it's a lot. Put it through another snatch block. Attach it to both Ford Rangers.
One goes this way, one goes this way. Straight.
I know what a snatch block is, actually, because farm girl here.
Yeah.
But we're talking about something that is the size of the Empire State
Yeah.
Building. It weighs like
You get a couple of
100
cables.
tons.
You get a couple. Well, it's sitting in water, so I mean, it is floating.
Wait,
No, it was grounded. The hull was grounded in the side of the bank, and it had a long point on that. Did you ever see the point on the front of that hull?
I just saw it that it's literally crooked.
It was obscene looking. It was
Yeah.
a long. Yeah.
Oh, that means you just got to snatch it from one side, the opposite direction, to get it back in heavier. Yeah, you don't have to snatch it from both ways then.
Well, I'm sure they could just get those rednecks right down there and take care of it.
They're overcomplicating it. That's all it is.
just needed a line of middle-aged white dads just saying like, "Have you tried rocking it from side to side?"
turn it off and on.
Well, if it were me.
I mean, honestly, you take the if yeah, no, you could get that thing out. I don't know why it's being so difficult to move.
Oh, armchair quarterbacks here.
Yep. Cassisi says his big thing that people are expecting is evidence of extraterrestrial life.
Oh, that's
can
a
see
good
that.
one.
We've had a lot of alien news also that just kind of slipped through in the last year due to everything else happening in the world.
Such as?
There was the deep space radio signal we got, which
Start it back.
Yeah, start back up. And then also a former government official from Israel has said that not just like your average dude, just like an actual guy with credentials who's worked for the government of Israel, has said that the Israeli government has been talking to a galactic council, which, I mean, put as much faith into it as you want, but the fact that the guy had a appointed position.
Oh.
I did read that.
Yeah.
Or maybe
Hey.
he used to be part of it, and the reason why he's not part of it anymore is
Right. He lost it.
Rocker.
Yeah. I think
He's talking to a galactic council.
Exactly, yeah. I think he may be one of those people who's asked to retire.
Yes. Time for you to go, Bob.
Okay, it seems like you have totally lost it, which means you should step this way. Galactic Council wants you to walk this way.
Yes.
That's a pretty good observation, though. Who said that?
Cassisi.
That was a good one. That was a good one. And we've lost Aaron again. He's wrapped up in his artwork.
No, I'm thinking. I can't think of anything. The aliens would be it. I can't think of anything.
Really?
That will be coming around the corner that would surprise us all. Cure for cancer?
I think mostly stuff's going to be cure for cancer. I have no idea.
That's closer than you think.
Yeah.
It's probably been closer than you think for a while.
Yeah. I mean, that's what the Pfizer company was working on beforehand, biotech. So now that they got this kind of done
I
with.
sure hope so. That'd be awesome. How about cure for old age?
How about we just pick something that the conspiracy theorists are talking about? Just
oh yeah.
Which is the wildest one you've heard lately? There's a lot of them out there.
The reptilian people.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
I haven't heard this one. Dish.
You haven't heard the reptilians? Oh man, they've been around forever.
Oh, that they are among us and they live in the center of the earth.
Yes. That they're controlling the government from the shadows.
Yes.
Yeah.
The reptiles.
Yes.
From the lizard brain.
Somebody even said that Adele is a reptilian person. Yes. The singer.
Oh yeah, I know who Adele is. I'm just trying to wrap my head around it.
Cassisi also said tattoos that integrate with your cell phone, and there is
there's already an app for that.
Yeah. Well, there's also you can get the QR codes tattooed that actually work with your phone, but there's also working on getting bioreceptive inks, so that way they'll essentially convey data based off of what your body is doing or what your level's at, so you can see when you're low blood or low oxygen or whatever.
I was going to say, is this anything like microchipping your dog?
Kind of. It's more essentially giving yourself a heads-up display, but in your forearm.
Yeah. I've heard of these. That was a story about the tattoos that glow.
Mm-hmm.
Although, to be honest, and I'm going back again to my childhood when and I'm dating myself again, I remember watching the first Star Trek series, okay? And everything in there was so bizarre and otherworldly. I mean, they had these little flip communicators that they would talk into, and it was just so out there. It's like, man.
And then we had a Motorola Razor.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, and almost everything that you see, except for the transporter, almost everything you see in Star Trek is now real.
Yeah.
You got to understand me looking at that as a little kid going, oh, wow, that's
science fiction always has some precedence in the real world, and it sometimes leads to, in very, very many cases, to science fact.
Science fact. Yeah.
Nope.
I
And
mean, I got to wonder how close they're actually getting to the transporter.
in 2020, Fermilab partnered with NASA Jet Propulsion, ATT, Caltech, Harvard University, and University of Calgary, successfully teleported molecules from like a distinct system where they tested one end, they hit it with a current, and it appeared another thing, and it tested as the same molecule.
Wasn't it-
They
Seriously.
did.
Wasn't it a
That's
photon?
right.
As a qubit, I believe.
Was it cube? Okay.
Yeah.
See, I'm going to see all this in my lifetime, and that just blows my mind.
It looks like we might have a new field of physics, particle physics. They've just reported that.
Yeah.
That was from
Really?
the atom smasher. Yeah, they're
Mhm.
getting consistent results with the breakdown of one of the quantum particles.
Yeah.
So
That
what,
is
cold
not.
fusion?
Yeah, well, they break down within seconds, but this one they said is breaking down in such a way that it keeps you. It's not breaking down normally, but it keeps doing the same thing. So they may have had a new field of particle physics.
Hmm.
So
I'd like to see cold fusion happen where we have sustainable energy with we don't have to
we
use
are
a
not
nuclear
far off
reactor.
from that.
Mhm.
I don't think I would say by the end of this decade we're probably going to have cold fusion, especially with the Japanese. I think was the Japanese that one that were able to contain the
Fukushima?
yeah, they
Yeah.
were for like 10 minutes. It was like a what was it, a plasma state? Or I can't remember. It was something. It was like hotter than the sun. They were able to contain it, I think, in a magnetic
Oh,
field
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. It
for
was
like 10
yeah.
minutes.
And
I
It
Chi-
was
think
it
they're
was
still
like
working.
100 and some odd times hotter than the sun.
yeah,
Yeah.
They were able to build a artificial sun.
yeah, and China
Yeah.
just also built an artificial sun.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you got to think about, like, my grandfather was born in 1900 and plowed the fields with a horse and, pulling a one bottom plow behind him.
Yeah.
And he saw a man land on the moon.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of technology advancement between 1900 and when he died in the 80s, was just
Yeah. It was mine.
There's still people saying that the moon landing didn't happen.
right. Yeah, it's another conspiracy. I love conspiracy theories because they can be so out there.
All right.
Which kind of leads me into my next question: is what's the longest rabbit hole you've been down?
TikTok.
What's
TikTok.
TikTok.
TikTok is a
Oh
rabbit
yeah.
hole. Jesus
I've lost
Christ.
so many hours just watching dumb comedy on it. Yeah. I go on some pretty long rabbit holes at work when it's super slow. I just pull up like Wikipedia.
Yeah, Wikipedia you can get lost on.
Yeah.
I did that today.
I didn't know there was people that actually just went to Wikipedia just to look at stuff.
You just look at stuff, find the sources, and just
you
keep on
don't-
clicking.
Christ.
read about information, and then you're onto another person or a different
But
subject. and it just goes.
Wikipedia can still. I don't know. I still question some of the information that is put onto Wikipedia.
It's definitely better edited, but it is still the same kind of crowdsourced information. But now you can see like direct sources, so find things that have been sourced and vetted.
Trying to think. I get lost in YouTube videos. I can't think of any specific ones.
Yeah, I get lost in YouTube. That's the one my rabbit hole.
Yeah.
My other rabbit hole is when I'm working on the inking.
Yeah.
I occasionally I will get on Twitter and I'll find somebody who's got doing some wild speculation, the conspiracy theorists, and I'll start clicking all of the responses, and that's there. I've lost 4 hours. I'll never get back.
Yep.
Heck, it's less of a headache. Just watch a soap opera, Barbara.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm fascinated with how people think because it just
Some of those people aren't thinking, Bart.
Yeah.
Most of them aren't thinking. I mean, it just makes it's just fascinating to see how they process stuff. The way they come up with their theories and the proof.
Yeah, I've been loving Tinian's Department of Truth comic that's been running. Essentially, it's an agency that's designed to guard history as recorded and documented, but their opposition is the Illuminati, and they spread misinformation. Yeah, they spread misinformation because the more people believe in something, the more it affects reality. So the idea is they're trying to misinform enough people to make conspiracy theories become real.
So the harder you think something, the more real it becomes.
Yeah. So the more people get to believe that the lizard folk are real, the more lizard folk will actually appear. And so the Department of Truth is essentially trying to make sure that misinformation does not get spread in that way.
That is it. Some people, that is a theory about like UFOs and stuff. That's actually why we see them. It's not actual UFOs. It's, I guess you can say it's almost like a widespread Tulpa phenomenon.
Yeah.
So we're manifesting it. We're manifesting it on our own.
I forgot the name of it, but it's a concept in actual like Taoism. It's something space. The collective ego of humanity creates reality.
Well,
it's a crowd delusion.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, their space is infinite, right?
Mm-hmm.
It actually kind of depends on what model you go with.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are some that does say space is closed. It's a looped system.
Well, I think the idea is that it's a collapsing system, but there is no hard edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And going back to the thing where you say, you know, if people start to believing it, even if it's wrong, well, that goes way back.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to, like, well, for instance, Hitler says in Mein Kampf, if you tell a lie often enough, it becomes the truth.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
And that's the way history's written, even if it's a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool. It's written by the victors.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely. Okay. Want another one?
Sure.
Okay. What cartoons did you watch as a child?
Well,
all of
the
them?
X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
The X-Men was the best one.
Yep. X-Men, Amazing Spider-Man.
Yep, all that stuff from the 90s. X-Men, Fantastic Four, Iron Man, Silver Surfer for a period.
You guys?
I was a big fan of the Silverhawks.
Right?
I like the Mighty
Bravestar.
Yeah, I like the Mighty Orbots. Thunder the Barbarian was really cool.
GoBot, Transformers.
Yeah.
Bugs Bunny. All the Warner Brother cartoons. Roadrunner. Elmer Fudd.
I used to watch all those. They used to have the Roadrunner. Was it the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner Hour? I think that's what it was called.
Yeah. That's what I watched.
Biker Mice from Mars. Anyone watch that?
Mighty Mouse.
I've heard of it. I never watched it.
What's the Green Rabbit? What was that?
Bucky
O'Hare.
Yeah.
Bucky O'Hare.
Yeah, that comic is awesome. If you ever get a chance to find the
I've never read the comic.
The artwork in that is phenomenal.
Cassisi says Galaxy Rangers.
I don't think I saw that, but I've been hearing that was actually a cartoon that was like super ahead of its time.
I remember a cartoon called Jace and the Wheeled Warriors.
Wheeled Warrior, yeah.
Johnny Quest.
Johnny Quest, yeah.
Robotech and Gundam Wing are also big for me.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Robotech. I think that's my main toy collection for Robotech.
That and it also looks a lot like Appleseed.
It does.
Yeah. That's just,
So you're in the mech fandom.
Mech fandom. Well, Appleseed, there was a lot of politics in Appleseed too.
Fandom of anime.
It is. Well, when I grew up, mech meant that, but I think it was. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I also like the Western mechs, like BattleTech and. Well, BattleTech's like the only real one that we've put out that's gained popularity, which is kind of a shame since it was rad.
There was a
Voltron.
Voltron, yeah. There was another one. There was a weird bet. This is more role playing game called Heavy Gear.
Yes.
They did do a cartoon of it, like a very
You-
very short
the
cartoon.
arena one, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and but the mechs were really cool, and then I think
Mhm.
that was a Western. I think that was a Western derived property.
Yeah, I think it's like Western derived, but developed by actual Eastern animation partners.
Yeah,
Because
most of that stuff.
the guys came up with the idea and they came up with the idea for a game. They found like Japanese guys from Japanese anime studio. Like, you deal with this. How do we make this an actual thing?
Make it work, sort of thing. Yeah.
Now, see,
Yeah.
when my kids were small, my son used to love to watch Thundercats.
Mm,
Yeah.
yes.
And gargoyles and SWAT cats.
Yeah. Hyper Potato on YouTube wants to know anyone on the crew planning on any conventions this year?
I got one this month.
They're all off to what's it called? Our sponsors.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
we also have
Orlando one.
Daytona Beach Comic Con or
Daytona.
Daytona Beach Comic Convention. I believe they have dropped branding, which you can go to. I believe just DaytonaBeachComicConvention.com and find dates and reserve tickets. It's going to be in September, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be at Greenville, the SC Comic Con in Greenville, South Carolina, coming up 17th and 18th.
Yeah, I have potential of being at Rose City, but no hope for it really.
I'm signed up for Rose City. I don't know. They're selling tickets, but we'll see.
I had 2 conventions a month scheduled all last year, and of course they all got canceled, and I haven't gotten anything rearranged yet this year.
No.
So there's that.
Yeah.
Any other questions that they've got before we go on to the next one of mine?
I think that's that. So if you want conventions, you got John. The rest of us are figuring that out.
Yeah.
Or if you're coming to England, then great, but I doubt that's the case.
What are your hobbies outside of art?
I don't have time for anything else.
Twitch streaming, which I've found a way to monetize, so I'm not sure if that's a hobby anymore. I file taxes on it. And powerlifting and boxing, which I'm also trying to find ways to monetize.
All right, you guys. You don't do anything yet for fun, Peter?
Well, drawing is my fun. I will happily spend all day doing that.
There you go.
I don't. It doesn't. If I'm doing something else, I'm usually thinking I should be drawing.
Do you collect anything?
Comic books.
That's a hobby.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a hobby.
Yeah.
Your dog crawling on your shoulders and riding there, that's a hobby.
I like listening to audio dramas sometimes as I work. I guess I have to buy those. So, yeah.
I listen to audiobooks, and I'm a rabid reader, so I have to read every day.
Same.
Yeah, I wish I could. I've got a lot of comics racking up I need to read. I don't have time anymore. I draw all day. So, yeah, if I'm not drawing, I should be drawing. So, yeah, that's the life.
How about you, John? Are you a gamer?
I mean, I don't know if I'd call myself a gamer, really. I mean, because I'm an OG gamer, because that's. I mean, I started with it.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to be a hardcore gamer as long as you play a game that you enjoy.
I mean, but I just wrapped up Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
How was that? I'm interested. I've been looking.
Good. It's good. Beautiful.
It's good.
Beautiful game, and they're getting ready to add DLCs at the end of the month.
Nice.
So next will be Ireland.
Oh, okay.
Ireland and Paris, or Francia, as they call it.
Yes.
Aaron, do you have any hobbies?
I do gaming. I don't know if it's a hobby, but I like to go for walks a lot.
That's
I
good
don't
for
know.
you.
Yeah. I think that's
I walk 3 miles a day. It's not because I enjoy it.
Yeah, I like going out and doing that, getting out.
Yeah.
I do collect some stuff. I collect I've been collecting some Robotech stuff, but very rarely. I just run out of room to collect stuff. I'd have to say diving in and like reading independent comics,
Mm.
like really independent, like indie stuff, and checking those out.
Some guy told you that I was basement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody's doing it like me out of
Yeah.
out of the basement or whatever. I don't know. I like to watch stuff on quantum physics and astronomy, even though I don't understand every single thing of it.
Mhm.
I like that stuff. Man, I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of but most of the time I'm drawing and making my stuff like Peter is. That's the majority of what I'm doing.
No, I spend probably 5 to 6 hours a day. I do stuff in the morning. I get up and I walk my 3 miles or whatever, and clean and catch up on all my social media stuff like that. And at noon, I sit down and start my artwork, and I do that till 5 or so. Fix supper, and then I sit and watch TV with Dick at night. And while we're watching TV, I'm still working on the iPad. So it becomes your life. It really does.
It does.
All right. What TV show character would be the most fun to change places with for a week?
Well. What have I been watching recently? Probably wouldn't want to change any of those. I've been watching The Terror. Have you seen The Terror?
No.
I've heard of that's the one about the boat up that gets
Yeah,
trapped up.
it's based on a true story, but it's based on the Dan Simmons book.
What is that streaming?
Because
Because I meant to watch it and then I forgot about it.
I don't know what it streams on over there. We got it on. I'm not sure what channel it is over here. It's just you come out over here. I think it was in America first.
Yeah, I'll double check it because that's one I had on my list. There's many things I put on my list to watch, and then I'm like, what the name was that of that show was? The Terror was one. Yes, thank you for reminding me.
They all die, so I probably don't want to swap with any of them.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not giving anything away there. That's literally the first
I think that's probably the first episode.
Yeah. What am I watching?
So, like, I'm watching Invincible, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and Resident Alien. Well, Resident Alien actually may not be the worst, but
Resident Alien I find really funny. And I'll quite happily not with the alien, but any other character.
Resident Alien is awesome.
So funny.
Yes, yeah.
Wubba
says,
I'm so pleased that got renewed.
Or Wubba says, Krypton from Farscape.
Crichton,
yes.
Farscape.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, well, what may actually be happening as a switch is if a convention does happen in the future, Tommy, Dean, Scott, and myself may be switching roles with the cast of Ghost Hunters, since on Wednesday night we have found that we've all had a shared fascination in ghosts and cryptids, so we're going to try and put together a Silverline ghost hunt during a convention.
My missus watches those programs.
Yeah.
I absolutely believe in ghosts.
So we're gonna see if we can't group together around find a haunted location near to a convention center and try and do that.
Go spend the night in a haunted house.
Yes.
Well, I've had several incidences which strongly make me believe in ghosts. So that's
probably have to say if it was a TV show, it would probably be Joel Fleshman, even though he's Jewish from the show Northern Exposure. I think that would be fun. Just because it was such a weird town to begin with.
Yeah.
I don't even know who I would switch with. Just maybe somebody rich and beautiful.
Yeah.
Spend a week getting massages every day. That would be awesome. All right. This is going to be a great one. How would society change if men were able to get pregnant?
Oh, Lord.
And men and women both had an equal chance of getting pregnant.
Oh, yeah, that would change. No, not getting involved in that one.
The cost of
you guys have whips. Total whips.
The medical billing for delivery and childbirth would probably be much lesser.
Yeah, they would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I've
I
actually
think
I've
you're
seen.
assuming a lot here, Barb.
You're expecting a lot.
We just make
Uh,
comics. I mean, jeez.
Yeah.
Have you ever, have you,
Our chances of childhood are already low.
have you ever seen those videos where they'll strap those belts around guys that will
Mhm.
stimulate labor pains?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Total wimps.
my girlfriend bought one of those. I don't see what your problem is. It was so nice. It was so. I was lying back thinking, this is really pleasant. This is nice, relaxing, gentle massage through my stomach. What's the big deal? I mean, I think it's all just a big scam. You make a big deal, it's really bad, but actually you're sort of thinking, this is nice, but I don't want him to know it's nice.
And then she turned it up.
No, it was fine. I think she bought the wrong thing. I think this is great.
Apparently.
She's like, no, it's not meant to be nice. I said, this is great. You can leave this on. This is great.
Strange enough, I think if you're that question's almost referring a little bit if it would like stop the male sex drive, and I would say no.
No.
I don't think that's going to make much of a difference there.
No, you guys
Well,
are.
I
And I
think
think-
the wiring, some of the
Right.
wiring down there is different between men and women. So
Yeah.
Men are
So-
hardwired to think with the little head, not the big
I
head.
think
no,
yeah,
no, I'm actually talking about like nerve wiring.
yeah.
We're it's a little we're done a little different than women are. So yeah, it's going to affect us different than women do.
Yeah.
It does.
I think we might actually have reasonable maternity leave available here,
Yeah.
if that were the case.
You know, government employees now here in the United States, as of October 1st, get 3 months, regardless of whether they're the father or the mother.
Yeah. But,
Why does the government hate you so much?
I was saying, meanwhile, like in Denmark, the women get 2 years and the men get 6 months.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, I know. We're behind on all that.
Yeah.
But the point
We're
I'm making
behind
is
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone suffers here.
Yeah, the point I'm making is that it was 3 weeks for the men.
Yeah.
My son is in the military, local military here, full-time guard. So he was going to get 3 weeks leave when my granddaughter was born, but she was like 2 weeks late in coming, and she arrived on October 1st, the first day that this new rule went into effect.
Mm.
And he ended up getting 3 months instead.
Oh.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, which is huge because I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, it is 3 weeks maternity leave for men.
Yeah.
That sucks. All right, who is the in the movie business seems the most down to earth?
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
He seems the most laid back. There was somebody else that besides Keanu Reeves that was up there, but I can't think of it.
He used to play bass in like a vegan punk band just because he wanted to, making no money from it.
Tom Hanks seems pretty normal. He seems like
Yeah.
a guy you could just
But he's
talk
not
to.
that down to earth.
Yeah.
Well, isn't he?
No, he's not. He very much knows and tends to act at times
Yeah.
like he is the superstar that he is.
As recently got a new Keanu Reeves story, which is I think now my favorite. But for people who are familiar with Dungeons and Dragons, one of the lead directors for the past 10, 15 years has been Chris Perkins. And apparently he was sitting across from Keanu Reeves at a train station for like 15 minutes, and they didn't say anything, but clearly they made contact, knew each other was there. I guess Keanu's train comes. He looks at Chris Perkins, says, "Well, nice talking to you." Gets off and leaves.
Yeah, he doesn't have a car, does he? He takes the subway everywhere.
Yeah.
He takes our participation, but he does own motorcycles because he also owns a
Yeah, he
motorcycle
owns a
company.
motorcycle
He has a company, yeah.
Yeah. He
The
does.
other one I know. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say he owns a completely custom motorcycle company called Arch, and it's all built to order stuff.
I know
You're gonna-
Vin Diesel is supposed to be pretty laid back. He's a big D&D fan and
Mhm.
stuff too.
Yeah,
But yeah, Vin Diesel I've heard is like a really laid back guy.
yeah.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray, yeah.
He'll
Listen,
just wander
I've
into
heard
people's.
conflicting rumors of Bill Murray. I've heard
Yeah.
he's laid back, then I've heard he's not. So I don't know. I guess depends on who you talk to.
I think he just like
Yeah.
I think he's one of the people that just like screwing with people. Where like if you know he can get arrested
Yeah.
or just joke he is, but I mean, normal people are like that too.
Yeah.
What's his name? Played Deathstroke.
Joe Manganiello.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I heard.
Yes. He. I mean, obviously he knows he has quite a bit of wealth, as seen by his D&D dungeon that he somehow convinced his wife to let him build in his basement.
Yes.
But he's very much spending his time just hanging out or doing whatever or lifting. He's a very chill and oddly supportive dude. So if you meet him and you mention you're doing anything creative, he's going to be behind you 100%.
I heard Henry Cavill. He's a really
Oh,
big
yeah.
into. I don't know, but I don't know how laid back he is. But I know
He's
really
he-
into.
he's super not into himself. So much so that he nearly missed playing Superman because he's too busy playing WoW.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
he
right.
was
yeah,
raiding
so-
on WoW.
Yeah.
He was doing in the middle of a raid.
He did not. And apparently he'll just like when he was on set for Justice League and Mission Impossible, he had his gaming laptop set up in his trailer, and so he just leaves that, go play Total War Warhammer 2, and then come back, do his scenes, go back and just play games.
Well, yeah, I
I,
saw during 2020 when everything was shut down, he had this thing on YouTube or somewhere where he was, or Twitter, where he was putting together his
Yeah,
own custom-made
Yeah,
game
Yeah.
system.
yeah, you didn't.
My cousin lives near him in North London, and he said they go to the pub. They go into the same pub,
Yeah,
and he says he tries to be this inconspicuous guy, but he's the biggest guy in the pub with the biggest dog in the world. And he just sort of sits in the corner quietly drinking. You can't miss him. He's huge.
yeah.
But he just sits on his own and
But
gets
also,
on with his life.
I don't know if like all drapery in England is like this, but if you saw the video of him putting together his PC, you saw like this very like grandmothery style drapery. Like he for sure got those as a gift from his mom and didn't want to say
Definitely,
no.
yeah.
Yeah.
No.
All right, well, it's 10 o'clock, so let's wrap it up. It's 10 o'clock Central, my time. So why don't we start with Tim? Where can people find you?
Oh, was that me?
Yeah, your name's Tim, isn't it?
Oh, okay, cool.
That's him. Jeez.
You can find me on every social media at TimTKWriter or TikTok at TimDoesn'tTikTok. And I'm also on Twitch at AgroBacon, where I normally stream Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. It's kind of doing whatever.
Peter.
You can find me on the internet as Peter Clinton Art. And just type it in. You'll find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere, basically.
Aaron.
Instagram at AOH3810, Facebook, Aaron Humphreys or Humphreys Illustration, and then web tunes, where you can find my Goblins comic, which update again tomorrow, update every Monday. I'm doing issue 10 right now. I'm in the middle of that.
All right. John.
All over the interweb. John Martin, what is it? The artistic Viking, or even the Viking Prince Voltan. Of course, I said earlier, got the SC Comic Con in Greenville, South Carolina coming up, and tomorrow I'll be streaming and hanging out with John Lucas.
Cool.
Yeah, and
All right.
And that's
Commissioner
9 o'clock
Voting.
your time, right?
yeah, that's going to be 9:00 Central Time.
Okay.
Okay.
I think it's like 6 for me here.
Yeah. And my commission list is open, and I'm the same height as in Henry Cavill.
Oh, really?
All right. Nice.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. Big, I guess big as in status, not big as in height. Or size.
Big is
Yeah.
as big does, I guess. All right, my name's Barb Kjellberg, and you can find me under that name under Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and DeviantArt. I want to thank everybody who contributed to our previous Kickstarter. It was a success. We did a really good job, and you guys are the ones that make Silverline what it is. So thank you very much, and keep an eye out for our next Kickstarter in May. And in the meantime, everybody, Make
Make
mine
mine
Silverline.
Silverline.
Silverline.